Hey, welcome to the Create a Life That Is Beautiful podcast. I'm your host, Leticia Ringe, and this is the space to be for high vibe people looking to create a beautiful life and business. Let's do this. Welcome back to the podcast, my beautiful friends. I am Leticia Ringe, your host, and today we are diving into part 4 of our 4-part mindset series. This is the final installment, and we are diving into why our thoughts determine both our results and our reality. So if you have not yet listen to parts 1 to 3 in the mindset series, which are available on episodes 93 to 95 on the podcast, I recommend you go back and listen to those first before tuning into today's episode. This is because we are building on the concepts that we've been exploring, and so this episode is going to have a lot more impact if you listen to those episodes first. All right, everybody, so let's talk today about how and why our thoughts are directly responsible for the results that we create and are currently experiencing and enjoying in our life, and also the way we perceive the reality that we're living in. First of all, I'm going to talk about how and why our thoughts create our results. So, as you know, we've been talking about how our thoughts determine the way we look at the world around us, what we see in the world around us, and they also show us what our beliefs are, what those unconscious long-term programs we have inside of our mind that we've been operating from, and that tell us about what's possible for us and what we expect and how we look at the world around us. So if we expect that we can only reach a certain level of success, we can only make a certain amount of money, we can only feel a certain way, these commitments that we have through our beliefs, through the emotional state that our mind is committed to keeping us in what we're familiar to having been in up until this moment today, what will happen is that we will create results that are aligned with those thoughts. So this is difficult because what happens is that because we mostly are thinking automatically, we just keep creating the same results in our life, which means that we get used to that. We see the evidence around us that, okay, I know that I can create these results in my life because these are the results that I've created so far. But then when we want to create something new and we want to create a new result, a new outcome for ourselves, we need to go back to our thoughts and start to shift those because we have to do something new, something unfamiliar in order to create new results in our life. And what happens here is we go through this period of adjustment where we're trying on new beliefs about what's possible for us, about how much we can earn, about the life that we can live, about what's possible for our health and fulfillment. And we are up against our old beliefs that we are currently seeing the evidence of. So what gets really difficult is that we have to believe ahead of time before we actually have the results in front of us. And this is a difficult concept because we're so used to looking at the world through the mind and through that logical, rational lens saying, well, this is what I can see in front of me, so this is all that's possible. And that's why for a lot of us, when we see other people who have results that we want, that can actually be super expansive because our mind can kind of come on board with the fact that, hey, I've seen this person do it, which means that I could probably do it. Now, that's not always the case because you can also have a belief there that that's possible for them, but not for me. But it does make it easier to change old thoughts and programs and beliefs by seeing someone else who has done that and then therefore expanding your beliefs in that way, like using that as evidence for you. However, we can go a step further and we can actually imagine situations and results and things that we want to experience in our life and then use that as the example of why that's possible. The fact that you can imagine it means that it is possible for you too. Now, this means your belief needs to go a step further because you don't have anything concrete for the mind to see in front of itself to say, hey, this is why it's possible. You have have to have a lot of belief that the fact that you can imagine it means that you can then create it. So we need to align our thoughts with the new results that we want to create in our life in order to change the results that we're experiencing. And this means we must go through a period of adjustment, of discomfort, where it's super uncomfortable because we're fighting against the old beliefs that we have that are really strong, and we're needing to believe ahead of time before we have evidence that the new results that we want are actually possible. So, in order to do that, we have to first believe, the very first thought that we must believe is actually that our thoughts do create our results. Because if you don't believe that, then why would you commit to trying to change your beliefs and your thoughts, which begin with changing our thoughts and then over time they become new beliefs? Why would you go through that process? Why would you commit to it if you didn't believe that your thoughts do create your results? It's just not possible. So that's the first belief we really need to work with. And so why do our thoughts create our results? Well, whatever you believe is going to then generate that emotional state that we spoke about in the second part of this series. So that emotional state then determines the emotional fuel that you fuel your behavior in your life, that you fuel the things that you do and don't do. And that combination of the thoughts creating the fuel and what you spend your time doing is what then creates the results in your life. So for instance, you have the thought that it's possible that I could make $50,000 this year. And you have this thought because you've had a salary of $50,000, you know it's possible, you've made that every year, it's the same amount of money you've had coming in, you've been spending all of this time collecting evidence to support that because you've had the money coming in. And so when it comes to that thought, the feeling that that thought might generate for you as an individual might be a level of certainty, a level of belief. You feel like, yes, I really believe that. And so it creates this feeling, this emotional state of certainty when you think that feeling. And then therefore, when it goes to your behavior, what you spend your time on and don't spend your time on, that will then lead you to behaving in certain ways that then are aligned with the result you want to create. Now, compare that to someone who believes that $50,000 is not possible for me to create. I haven't made it before. All I've made to date is X amount of money. And so I don't believe that $50,000 is possible, but I'm willing to try and start to believe that making $50,000 is possible. So that person, the emotional response that they create is likely to be quite different to that first person we spoke about. That first person believes they can make $50,000 before, they've seen it before, they're in full belief about it, they've generated a feeling of certainty within their body. This person, the feeling they might generate might be doubt, it might be confusion, it might be a level of just feeling uncomfortable about it. It might be a level of frustration. The emotional response is going to be an individual thing because we are all individuals, and the way we react to different thoughts we have is going to produce different emotional responses. So there's different possibilities here, but let's just say the belief is the emotional response to that belief is uncertainty versus the certainty of the first case we spoke about. So you're feeling really uncertain. You've got this belief that maybe it's possible, but I haven't done it before, and so I'm not sure. You have this emotional state of feeling uncertain, and then you go out in the world and maybe you actually do the same things that the other person who is operating from a place of belief and certainty does, but then you create different results in your life. It's because of these thoughts that you're thinking and the emotions that you're fueling those behaviors with. And the reason for that is because you aren't, in the first circumstance, that person is aligned with the result that they want. They're aligned with the $50,000. In the second case, you're not aligned with the $50,000 yet. You're not in full belief that that is something that is possible for you. The full alignment with the result is when you know it's certain, like it's going to happen. I'm completely aligned with it. I'm expecting it, but I'm not attached with it. So when we have not created those results in our life before, and even when we have created those results in our life before, we might think that they're a fluke. It is difficult to create those results. And the reason for that is simply because our beliefs are just not aligned with them yet. So does that mean that everything is just completely impossible? No, all that it means is that we have stronger thoughts in our mind at the moment that are creating the actual results that we're experiencing. So maybe the result you have is that you're making $5,000 in your business today, or you're on a salary of $25,000, or whatever it is, right? And so that is where your mind is at the moment. Your mind believes that you can make $25,000, and so that's the result that you've created. In order to start making that $50,000, the $80,000, the $100,000, the $200,000, like it doesn't matter what the number is, it's a gradual process of over time starting to believe more and more and more that you can align with that result that you want. So it would start off as, I'm not sure. Then you might, over time, as you continue to practice your new thoughts, you might practice the thought that, it's possible that I could create $50,000. Or even the first thought might be, it's possible that I could create more money than I'm making right now. It's possible that I could create $25,000. It's possible I could create $30,000, and you might start taking small leaps, or you might start thinking things like, every day I'm getting closer and closer to making $50,000. Every day I'm getting one step closer to the results that I want to create. That line of thinking, even though you don't have the evidence for that at the moment, might be something that's easier for you to actually believe, because look, if I've made $25,000, it's likely that I'll be able to make more than that amount next year, for instance. So we have to start gradually shifting our thoughts to be aligned with the result that we want. And over time, as we repeat these thoughts to ourselves, as we collect evidence to support them, like, why is it possible that you could make $50,000 this year? Why is it possible you could make $80,000 this year? Why is it possible you could make $100,000 this year? And as you start to collect evidence, more and more evidence every single day on why that's possible, gradually you actually start to believe that, the $80,000, the $50,000, the $100,000, whatever it is, it's coming. This was the exact process I went through when I was calling in a partner in my life. So at first, I didn't believe that I could call in, manifest, create the partner that I wanted to have in my romantic life. So it was almost like a bit of a game. I was like, okay, I'll think about it. I'll start thinking about what I want in a relationship. I'll think about the person that I want. I'll think about what I don't want, and I'll get clear on what the results are that I want to create, and I'll know exactly what results I don't want to create. And I'll just sort of have fun and I'll play with this. And then over time, as I started to look at all of this and I started to learn about, my thoughts create my reality, over time, I start to get more familiar with this concept. And I start to believe that, maybe it is possible that I could have a relationship that feels this way, that I could have a relationship with a person that includes all of these beautiful qualities that I'm calling in. And then I look for how I'm embracing these qualities, and I start to feel the way that I would feel in a relationship with that person. I start over time to believe, you know what? It's inevitable. I'm going to have this relationship. It's happening. It's coming. And then I see the result when I'm truly aligned with the thoughts and the emotional state that matches up with that result that I want to create. And that's exactly what happened when I called in my partner, Lou, who I've been with for the last 8 years plus. And so then I actually knew with complete certainty a week before I met Lou, my partner, that I was going to meet him, and I knew it was right around the corner. I actually said to my friends, you know what? I'm going to meet my partner in the next couple of weeks. I feel it. And I was so unattached to that outcome. I just was in complete belief. And that's the thing. When you're attached to an outcome, you don't really believe it, because that's why you need evidence of it. So you want to look for anywhere that you feel that you are attached to the result that you want, where maybe you're beating yourself up because you don't have the result, because that's going to show you that, look, your thoughts aren't aligned with it yet. What are you actually thinking here? Because that is what is getting in the way of the result that you want. And so that's beautiful that you notice that you are attached, that you feel that desperate sort of energy, because it's just showing you the roadmap for shifting and aligning your beautiful thoughts with the results that you actually want to create. So this is a beautiful thing, because what it also means is that it's safe for you to look at the results in your life and to map your way back through your thoughts and your emotions and how you've been spending your time to take ownership for how those results have been created in your life. If what you're wanting is more of something, but what you're getting is less of that thing or just more of the same, that's showing you that your beliefs are aligned with the results that you have, and or that your beliefs are aligned with lack at this time. So you've probably heard, when it comes to the concept of manifestation, which is just about creation, that abundance begets more abundance and lack begets more lack. So when we see ourselves creating more lack in our life or more of the same, it's simply showing us that our emotional state and our most dominant thoughts at the moment are aligned with lack. So whatever you focus your attention on, which are your thoughts, however you see the world around you, that is where your attention is focused right now. And it's focused there because of the thoughts that you're thinking. So when your mind is committed to thinking and believing that it's not possible for me to create these results, that I'm the kind of person that just doesn't get the things that I want, that I'm poor, that I'm not healthy, you're committed here to collecting evidence to confirm those thoughts, even though they don't support you. Your mind doesn't care. It just wants to collect evidence for the most dominant program that's in your mind. It's like, see, yeah, that's right. That's true. See, look, here's some more evidence to support this thought you're thinking. Yep, let's keep thinking that. Let's keep that thought going. We're looking at the world and that's all we can see. So it just means that your mind is committed to looking for more evidence of the lack, of the reasons why you can't create the results that you want. And all we need to do is start to shift your attention to start consciously looking for evidence why you can create the results in your life. We want to align your thoughts and therefore your emotional state with abundance. It is possible that I can create this. These are the reasons why I could create this result. That's aligning you with abundance. It's now shifting your attention from what's not in your life to what could be in your life. And this makes all the difference. Now, there are some sneaky cases, and this is why it's so helpful, very helpful to have a coach in your life, because there can be times when we feel like, you know what, but I am committed. I'm committed to believing that it's possible, and I've been collecting all of this evidence to support the results that I want to create in my life, but I still keep finding myself responding emotionally in a way that isn't supportive. So you might find that the thought, I could make $100,000 and every day I'm getting closer to making $100,000 and I can't wait to work with all of these clients, that could actually generate an emotional response within you of fear, resentment, shame, worry. Like, the options are endless here. And so if we're thinking that, and then we're having this emotional response, and then we're doing things and fueling it with those emotions and those that are generating and the thoughts that are generating those emotions, we're going to create different results because there's like an incongruence here. It's showing that there's another belief here, and that belief is the one that's standing in your way rather than believing that it's possible. And so that belief might actually be that the more money I make and the more people I work with in my life, the less safe I am. That is a very popular one that I see amongst my clients. And the reason for that belief can be a whole myriad of things. We might have examples in our life about why having more money is not safe, why that exposes you to some potential risk or harm. It might be a story you picked up as a child through your adulthood. It could be from a past life. It could just be a collective thing. So we have to be very aware of where there is any incongruence, and what will help you identify that incongruence are the results that you're creating. If you've got your thoughts aligned with abundance and you're doing the right things, but you're still responding in this way that is not aligned with the emotional state that you know is supportive of the results that you want to create, then your results aren't going to lie. They're going to show something there. And it takes a beautiful, skilled coach to help you identify where that is. And of course, there are also other modalities that are really amazing for this sort of discovery too. Okay, so why then do our thoughts also determine our reality? So I wanted to talk about this today because we can also have certain results in our life and then all have different thoughts about them. So someone might think that $50,000 is not a lot of money. Someone might think that $50,000 is a lot of money. Other people might think $100,000 is not a lot of money. And then others will think it is a big amount of money. Some people will think that $100,000 is possible. Other people will think it's completely impossible. Some people will think that hundreds of thousands of dollars is possible, and others will think that it's completely impossible. It's the same with all of the other results in our life. You might think that losing a certain amount of weight is possible. Other people think it's not possible. And then we can go a step further and we can also look at the way we perceive the reality around us, the world around us. So you might look at your life and you might see only evidence of why things aren't going well, of why you're unhealthy and why you're not a good person, or you don't have nice friends, or whatever it is that you perceive your reality as right now. None of that is factual. It's a thought that we have about the reality that we're living in. And this is a beautiful thing because what it means is that if you don't like that reality that you believe you're living in right now, the way to change it is to go to the cause in the first place. And that is the thoughts that you're thinking. So for instance, you might be thinking the thought, everybody is out to get me. And so you will collect evidence of that. I'm not good at this. I don't know what to do. I'm confused. I'm resentful. My clients aren't getting results. No one wants to work with me. You will collect evidence to support all of those beliefs if they are your dominant thoughts. And so that will be the reality that you live in. Versus if you shifted your thinking to something like, I know what I'm doing. I believe no matter what, my clients are transforming every single day. Every day, I am getting closer and closer to the life I want to create for myself. The people around me support me. I love my clients. I'm ready for more clients in my life. I'm certain about what is possible. These thoughts are going to see you collecting different kinds of evidence, which will then create a different reality for you. And it's simply through changing the thoughts that you are predominantly thinking. Now, again, the process of changing those thoughts requires commitment and practice. It means every single day sitting down and consciously redirecting your mind to look for that evidence, writing it all down, and doing this for a long period of time until suddenly you have a reaction and you realize, oh my gosh, my predominant thoughts have changed. I am now seeing, without needing to consciously direct my mind to it, that I am safe and I am supported and I actually feel that and I believe it. And so there you go. You have now shifted your reality, which is just so cool. So my beautiful friends, you want to have a look at the results that you see in your life so that you can recognize what your unconscious commitments are in your thinking, so that you can recognize where your thoughts are not in alignment with the actual results that you intend, so that you can start the process of shifting your beliefs to therefore shift the reality that you live in today. Now let's talk an overview of how we actually then go about changing our results. So the first step is that we have to have awareness of what our results are. You got to take a look at your results and you have to own them completely. I am fully responsible for the results that I have created in my life today. Absolutely no blaming anybody else, ever. Even if you're working with a coach, even if you're working with a healer, even if you're working with some other expert, you always have to take 100% responsibility for your results because that gives you all of the power to change them. It means that you're never dependent on anybody else. For instance, when I know that I need support in an area within my life or my business, and I work with a coach or I work with an expert or I take an online program, I go in with the belief that I'm going to get everything that I need. It doesn't even matter what is in the program. It doesn't matter what happens with the coach. I go in and I get that and I create that because of the thoughts that I am thinking. Now, if you believe, oh, look, I don't know if I'm going to get the results that I came for, I'm really worried about it, then what you do is you just collect evidence to support that. And so that's the result that you create. So the best thing that I always tell my clients when they start working with me is that you must believe that whatever you came here to get, that you're going to get it. And you've got to commit 100% to getting that because that is what is going to determine your results in this program. And it's such a game changer. And this is how I approach my life as well because of that. So no blaming. You have to take responsibility, which gives you all of the power to change your results. This means that you must accept the thought, the belief, and the first one to start trying on and believing is that your thoughts create your results, that your thoughts determine your reality. And so with my clients, I can always tell when someone isn't believing that because they're very defensive, protective, it's not them, it's their mind, over their limiting beliefs and stories. They will blame something outside of themselves in the way that they talk about whatever it is we're talking about. Like, for instance, nobody's buying my products or services because of the coronavirus. Now, this may have a level of truth to it, but it doesn't support you to think that. And most likely, if you weren't making the sales that you wanted before that you now want, you probably weren't making them before either. Chances are very high that that is the case. If you weren't feeling motivated before the coronavirus, it's likely that you're not feeling motivated now. Equally, if you're not feeling motivated now, you probably weren't feeling motivated before the coronavirus. Maybe you had a certain amount of time when you were, but maybe the predominant station that your mind was tuned into before was not feeling motivated because of something that you're thinking. If you weren't serving before the coronavirus, then you're probably not serving now either, and vice versa. If you're not selling now, you may not have been selling before either. And it's just showing you that it doesn't matter what the circumstances are, what your results are, what you see, perceive with the world around you, always show you what your unconscious commitments are, what those primary thoughts are that you are having. So we want to bring awareness to what our results are. We want to put them on paper. Right now, I've got this amount of money in my bank account, this amount coming into my business, this amount of debt. I've got this many clients. I'm communicating in this many ways. Get the results down on paper and look at them and accept them. That's the second step. Awareness is the first step. The second step is accepting them. Now, I've got an episode 82, that's dedicated to this topic, which is all about the importance of accepting where you're at right now, your current results. And this is because when you accept and say, okay, I accept that these are my current results, and you stop fighting against them, you create space to start realigning your thoughts with where you want to actually go, and you have the opportunity to step into abundance. So go back and listen to that episode, and I also recommend that you listen to episode 81, which is all about belief resilience, believing no matter what. So we bring awareness to what our results are, and then we accept what our results are, and then the third step is to bring yourself to a place where you really love your results, where you look at them and you think, you know what, these are excellent. I'm so happy that I have got these results, and now I'm ready for more. And the reason you want to do that is because that will release the resistance that's stopping you from creating new results. It puts you into the energy of abundance, which is going to beget more abundance. That's why, along the journey of moving, let's say you're moving from your first dollar that you make in your business to the next 100,000. It's actually better for you to focus on, let's make my first sale. Let's make the first dollar, or let's make the first $1,000, or whatever the amount is, rather than $100,000, because you're going to have more belief that it's possible for you to create $1,000. So you want to focus on that first. And then when you make the $1,000, even though you want to make the $100,000, you have to really love that you have made you've made $1,000. You have to love that. You have to see that as the best result ever. This is so cool. I've just made $1,000. This is amazing. I've got my first client, and I am in the energy of abundance. That's going to open you up for more abundance. And then you're going to focus on your next $1,000 or your next $5,000. And then you're going to get that, and then your next 10, and then your next 20, 50, 80, 100, and so on and so forth. But if you don't stop and celebrate each of these steps along the way, you're going to see yourself stop making those results. For instance, I had a client who kept showing up to our sessions and talking about how she wasn't creating any results at all, how she just wasn't getting any results. I don't know what's happening. It's not working. And I got her to write down, what results have you created today? And the amount of money she'd actually made in her business was actually a very significant amount of money. But the way she was looking at it was as if it wasn't enough, even though many people would see that as a huge amount of money. And so that's all that she saw. She was aligned with lack, and that's why she couldn't generate more money in her business. And so she had to shift that thinking first and see her results and be like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. I've made this amount of money over the past year. That's so cool. And then that opened the gates for her to start creating more results in her business. So you bring awareness, you accept them, and then you love on them. And then you ask yourself, okay, so how did I create these results? What were the thoughts that I was thinking that created these results, the good and the bad? What were the most common emotions that I was thinking? What were the things I was spending my time on and not on? That's how you created those results. And so once you have that awareness, then you can ask yourself, what am I going to do to change these results? And you can ask yourself, how do I want to shift my thinking? What do I want? What emotions do I want to be in? What do I want to be spending my time doing and not doing? And you can create a plan for yourself. And every day then, the most important thing to do is to commit to practicing those new thoughts, even though you don't have the results in your life. It's commitment. We have to commit. And that's why having a relationship with someone like a coach, like me, or a program that you're in, it gives you that accountability and support. It's like a space, right? You create this container around this new belief that you have for yourself. So for instance, I have this other business, this other idea that I want to create, and I knew it was really important for me to create a container around that. So I hired a coach to bring that container around that new idea for me so that it provides me that new accountability, that new space to hold that belief for me. And it just makes things so much easier than putting it all on me by myself to do that. So that's why upgrading your skills and investing in online courses or in-person courses, getting yourself coaches, being in masterminds, group coaching, all of these things are so supportive of helping you to align with the new results you want to create in your life, just for your own sense of commitment and belief. And as one of my clients mentioned to me the other day, a really beautiful quote that I believe is from Gretchen Rubin, and this is not the exact quote because I haven't looked it up, but I've been repeating it to myself all the time. Commitment makes your life bigger, not smaller. And it's so true. There is a direct link between commitment and more freedom, more amazingness in your life. And we have this story, this collective belief that it's actually the other way around, and it's not. When we commit to the things that actually matter in our life and the things that we actually want, it creates space for those things to come in. It makes our life bigger. When we commit to saying no to the things we don't want in our life, we then don't fill our life with all of that stuff, and we create more space for the things that we do want. So commitment, and I'm going to do an episode on commitment, is so important. It's so important for up-leveling. All right, my friends, so let me leave you with a question to ask yourself today and to journal on, and then this will help you to identify what your new thoughts are and to start practicing those. So the question is, what results do you have in your life today and why? Those two questions are going to help you to identify everything that you need to answer the question of how you need to shift your thoughts as you move forward. And if anybody would love to know some beautiful tools, to learn some beautiful tools that will help you in shifting your beliefs, in up-leveling and transforming your mindset, and going even deeper into everything that we've spoken about over this 4-part mindset series, I highly recommend to you that you join us in Mindset Makeover. This is my online course. I take you through 8 modules to help you understand, up-level, and transform your mindset. It's such an incredible program. I've put all of the tools that I use in my life into this program, and it helps you whether you've got a business, whether you don't have a business. It's about using your mindset in life in general. And it's really such an incredible program. You'll walk away with tools that you can use on a day-to-day basis, the same ones I use every day, and then also a mindset plan so that you can map out the big leaps that you want to make in your mindset over the next quarter, the next 6 months, the next year, and then constantly come back to that same mindset plan to then go to your next level. So it's a really beautiful program to help yourself coach yourself on a day-to-day basis. And then I also want to invite all of you who are business owners, if you're either at the start of your business journey or you've got a business and you know that the foundation is not strong because you're not seeing the sales that you want to see, you're not making consistent sales, or you haven't made your first sales, or you haven't made your first 10 sales, or you're not making consistent sales each month, I want to invite you to join us in Create Your Beautiful Biz. This program takes you through all of the practical components of setting up a business that will allow you to make your difference and thrive across your life as a whole, including financially. And most importantly, it takes you through how to align your mindset as a business owner so that you can show up as the leader that you're here to be in your business. Because if we don't believe that we have something to offer, that it's valuable, that we deserve to receive money, then this is what blocks us along our business journey. And most importantly, it just blocks you from serving the people that you're here to serve. So it's actually of service to your clients to have support with your mindset. So Create Your Beautiful Biz is a really beautiful way to do that. And then you'll also have an incredible community to connect with and ongoing coaching. So you can literally come on our fortnightly or weekly coaching calls and actually show up and have one-to-one coaching for a portion of time in our group coaching calls. And that's so cool because you will have things that happen all the time along your business journey that get in the way, and it's just your mindset. And so you'll have me to help you see your own mind. And then equally, you'll learn from seeing the other members in our coaching calls get coached. Often we don't even know what we need coaching on. And so a coach can definitely help you with that too. But you'll also be able to find your own answers when you see someone get coached. You'll be like, wow, that was the exact thing I needed. And it always is, because we're always just vibing. We're attracting the people in our life who we're on the same vibe as. So everybody's always dealing with the same things in different ways. And that's why I really feel that for business owners who are starting or building that solid foundation and starting to get that consistent income in their business, it's really important to have that group environment. And so that's why I have created Create Your Beautiful Biz. And I'm really excited to focus even more attention into this space. So if you want to sign up for the Mindset Makeover, you can head to leticiaringe.com/mindset makeover. And if you want to sign up for Create Your Beautiful Biz, you can go to leticiaringe.com/CYBB. And if you have any questions on either of those programs, just feel free to email me, leticia@leticiaringe.com. All right, my beautiful friends, I hope that you have enjoyed this 4-part mindset series. I've actually given you so much incredible information. You will be able to change your life using this information. The most important step is to do the inner work and to start identifying where your beliefs are out of alignment, and to then commit to practicing every single day, collecting the new evidence. You do that, you're going to see new results. You're going to make better decisions in your life about how to support yourself and in your business. And you're going to start creating a new reality. And that is super cool. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me. And I'll see you in our next episode. Bye. Hey, if you're ready to create your very own purpose-driven business too, I invite you to check out my online program, Create Your Beautiful Biz. You'll learn how to create a business that allows you to make your difference and thrive using my signature feminine essence framework. Just head over to www.leticiaringe.com/CYBB. Let's make creating a business beautiful. I'll see you there.